What if everything you've been told about one of the most infamous days in American history turned out to be riddled with lies? For years, conspiracy theories surrounding the January 6th Capitol riot have dominated political discourse. Some claim it was a false flag operation orchestrated by the FBI, while others suggest it was an antifa-led plot to frame conservatives. Now, after almost 4 years of waiting, the Department of Justice's Inspector General has finally released a bombshell report that sheds light on what the FBI knew, what it did, and, critically, what it failed to do before, during, and after the Capitol riot. The findings not only dismantle the baseless claims propagated by far-right figures like Marjorie Taylor Greene, but also reveal shocking missteps and oversights by federal law enforcement agencies. So, how did the FBI handle its responsibilities surrounding January 6th? And could their actions or inactions have changed the course of that fateful day? Let's dive into the details of this groundbreaking report. The conspiracy theories. For years, right-wing pundits and politicians have pushed a narrative suggesting that the FBI instigated the Capitol riot. Figures like Marjorie Taylor Greene have claimed, without evidence, that undercover FBI agents embedded within the protest crowds provoked the violence, turning a peaceful demonstration into a chaotic insurrection. According to these conspiracy theories, the FBI's aim was to entrap conservatives, vilify them in the media, and justify a federal crackdown on right-wing groups. The Inspector General's report thoroughly debunks these claims. After an extensive review of internal FBI materials and testimony, the report states unequivocally, "We found no evidence in the materials we reviewed or the testimony we received showing or suggesting that the FBI had undercover employees in the various protest crowds or at the Capitol on January 6th. This definitive statement directly refutes the allegations that FBI agents were embedded in the crowd or acted as provocateurs. Yet, as the report makes clear, the truth is far more complex than these simplistic narratives. The role of confidential human sources, CHSs. While the report dismisses the idea of FBI agents instigating the riot, it does reveal the agency's reliance on confidential human sources, CHSs, in the lead-up to January 6th. These CHSs are informants who provide intelligence to the FBI, often about extremist groups or potential threats. In this case, the FBI had recruited several CHSs from right-wing circles, particularly individuals with knowledge of so-called Antifa activists. Here's where things get murky. Some of these CHSs, despite their cooperation with the FBI, were themselves involved in the Capitol riot. According to the report, these individuals entered restricted areas of the Capitol grounds, and some even breached the building. However, the FBI maintains that none of its CHSs were authorized to break the law or directed to encourage others to commit illegal acts. Furthermore, none of these CHSs have been prosecuted for their involvement in the riot. This raises serious questions about accountability. Why were these informants, who clearly broke the law, not charged? Was it because of their cooperation with the FBI? And did the FBI's reliance on these individuals compromise its ability to anticipate and prevent the violence that unfolded on January 6th? The FBI's oversights and failures. The report doesn't just critique the FBI's use of informants. It also highlights significant failures in the agency's preparations for January 6th. Despite its efforts to identify domestic terrorism threats ahead of the riot, the FBI failed to take one crucial step: canvassing its field offices for intelligence. This oversight meant that the agency missed critical warning signs, including social media posts and other communications that indicated plans for violence at the Capitol. The report acknowledges this failure, stating that had the FBI conducted a more thorough review of available intelligence, it could have helped law enforcement better prepare for the events of January 6th. This lapse is particularly damning given the high stakes of the day, with Congress set to certify the results of the 2020 presidential election. Moreover, the report underscores the FBI's misplaced priorities. By focusing on gathering intelligence about left-wing groups like Antifa, the agency overlooked the immediate threat posed by right-wing extremists. This miscalculation not only hindered the FBI's ability to prevent the Capitol riot, but also fueled the perception that the agency was biased in its approach to domestic terrorism. The bigger picture: misinformation and accountability. The findings of the Inspector General's report have far-reaching implications. First and foremost, they expose the dangerous impact of misinformation and conspiracy theories. For years, baseless claims about the FBI's role in January 6th have been used to stoke political division, erode trust in institutions, and shift blame away from those truly responsible. Despite clear evidence debunking these claims, figures like Marjorie Taylor Greene are unlikely to change their rhetoric. For these individuals, the narrative matters more than the facts. This raises a troubling question. How do we combat misinformation in an era where many Americans are more likely to believe conspiracy theories than official reports? The answer lies in transparency and accountability. The Inspector General's report is an important first step, but more must be done to hold those who spread lies accountable for the harm they cause. Why it matters. Lessons for the future. The report also highlights the need for reform within the FBI and other federal law enforcement agencies. The reliance on CHSs who participated in the riot, the failure to properly analyze available intelligence, and the misdirected focus on left-wing groups all point to systemic issues that must be addressed. Moving forward, the FBI must adopt a more balanced approach to countering domestic terrorism, one that prioritizes public safety over political agendas. Additionally, this report serves as a reminder of the importance of holding public officials accountable. The actions of figures like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who continue to spread falsehoods about January 6th, must be called out and condemned. Only by confronting these lies head-on can we begin to rebuild trust in our institutions and ensure that the events of January 6th are not repeated. The cost of inaction. Finally, the report underscores the high stakes of inaction. The failures of January 6th were not just failures of law enforcement, they were failures of leadership. As a nation, we must demand better from those tasked with protecting us. The Capitol riot was a wake-up call, and the lessons it teaches us are too important to ignore. The Inspector General's report on the FBI's handling of the Capitol riot is a wake-up call for all Americans. It debunks baseless conspiracy theories, sheds light on the agency's reliance on problematic informants, and highlights critical failures in intelligence gathering and preparation. At the same time, it underscores the importance of accountability and transparency in rebuilding public trust in our institutions. While the report's findings are unlikely to sway those committed to spreading misinformation, they provide a valuable tool for countering false narratives and holding the FBI accountable. As we continue to grapple with the legacy of January 6th, one thing is clear: the truth matters. And it's up to all of us to ensure that it prevails over lies and conspiracy theories. If you found this analysis insightful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more in-depth coverage of today's most pressing political issues. And be sure to follow us on social media for the latest updates and commentary. Together, we can cut through the noise and uncover the truth.